did not change the mask, but I kind of rearranged the reoccurring sock situation again, and it's pretty well situated. So, yeah. I did bring the Halloween mask because the thing is I did try to use it, and it looks... I'm too brown to be wearing this on YouTube. We're just gonna keep rolling with this one, and hopefully I'll summon the motivation to, like, figure it out right now. I will say I am feeling slightly anxious, and I think it's just because the iPad is now, like, directly in front of me, so it's like, I don't know. I'm just not used to this, but I'll get used to it. It is, like I said, interesting, and it's not, I guess, so much anxiety as it is discomfort with, like, the restriction of that being the sole audience thing and having to focus on, like, this as a voice thing. It's just, I don't know. It's whatever. It's whatever, honestly. I just am not used to it, but I will get used to it. The one thing that I think I find helps, and it's definitely kind of gay, is just imagining the, like, diversity of people that I could reach speaking like this, as as silly as it seems, it does feel cool and exciting and stuff, thinking of what I just could do with the openness of having access to technology like this. I'm just one of the people, I am one of those kinds of people that I'm stuck, like, always thinking about how different my life is from those around me, and it's not something I view as overwhelming anymore so much as genuinely, like, a grounding and a source for good things and good energy, because if I don't stay connected to the kinds of people that inhabit the same world as me for however long that I'm alive, what is the point of trying to, like, do things, because then who am I doing them for, to, like, share them with, It's like, there's only so much of a point, I think, to art and music and creativity and expression if there's no one to express yourself to, And you can express yourself in the privacy of your own home and, in your own mind. I express myself in my own mind all the time, right? But, like, it's not the same as consciously creating something that conveys yourself and your essence, your being, to anyone, to an audience that is beyond your control, Like, this could, like, what I think about is there's, like, this possibility that, as unlikely as it is, that basically, like, nothing really happens with this, I record my ideas and thoughts and things about my life, reflections I have on occurrences in my day and how they make me change, like, over the course of existence, right? And that just, like, no one in my time or generation really cares much for it. But maybe someone in the future comes across this as though it was, like, an old book on a library shelf, And I think that that's cool. There's not much else to say in this moment other than I think that's cool, and it's cool enough for me to want to try this out and spend some of my precious time and life force and energy to do this, I'm going to turn the brightness down on this because it's going to keep turning on because I'm waving it around. It's so distracting. And, okay, so, what was that? Yeah, I can keep going on one thing here. So let's see. Okay, with that, what I will do is read. I read it to my mom yesterday, and I think she thought I was crazy. But that's okay. So, one of the things that I just, like, randomly wrote, and I think it would just pair well with what I just yapped about, and then I'm just gonna clip it there, and roll and do a different thing, you know, like I had another chapter of the Mahabharata that I was interested in reading aloud to you guys, so I was gonna do that, but right now we're gonna do this. Where is it? That is not it. That was the drawing that I posted in a short about how loud my grandma is. Can you tell I miss her? I like divide the journal into a bunch of random spots that I can never lose. Found it. ASMR. We're just checking that out to ASMR. It's fine. Okay. So stay with me. I am PMSing right now. Shout out to my cousin who paints really, really cool shoes and wallets and shit. And his new wifey who, I mean, she's not that new anymore. It's been like a year. But, like, she's cool. And I've only met her the one time. But we had a conversation within like 3 days of me meeting her about PMDD and hormones being a bitch. And it was really nice. It was very cool to see that there was someone just dealing with the same stuff, but like going about life, trying to live her best life. You know, she's a beautiful person, beautiful face, beautiful everything, beautiful energy. And I was like just super excited for, I guess, because I see my cousins, oh man, this is a fucking tangent. I see my cousins in India very sporadically, you know, I don't get to see them often, but I love them very dearly. And it's very cool to have this album of memories in my head where they're growing up, becoming their own people, and then I just go back and I see the people that they're gonna get to like spend the rest of their lives with, and you know, they still live 1,000 miles away from me. You know, I don't think in my adult life there's going to necessarily be a sudden shift in how much I'm going to be able to keep in touch with them. You know, especially I think the time is one of the biggest things, because it changes, like, your entire habits are at different, you know, I don't know. Where there's a will, there's a way, and I think in time I'll be able to develop more relationships with these people in my life, you know, and I think it's cool because I'm finally, I've always been the younger one in the cousins on my mom's side, and so I was always just a baby, so it's cool to finally be, like, adult enough to have very interesting and, like, random conversations with them, and, like I said, be excited about getting to be a part of and know at least some aspect of the lives of these people. These people that are my family members. I don't know why Beelzebub possessed me for a second, but that's okay. Anyways, that was a tangent. But yeah, I'm very excited to, like, there's three, no, how many, okay, whatever, it's fine. There's a bunch of wives of my cousins that I want to become, like, very good friends with, but it's hard to, thousands of miles away. And I don't know, in time. But I'm just very happy for him. And yeah, my other cousin's sister who got married as well at the same time, they're both siblings. Her hubby had been in the US for a while, so they both now live here, which is super cool because it was like the first time someone from my mom's side of the family had been like within a couple hours distance like that, you know. I don't know. I think this is a part of life that some people in the US just like they don't ever experience or understand like what it feels like to have so many like family members and stuff that just around the globe that you love so much, but you can't, like, there's only so much you can be a part of their lives, but you have to just like telepathically send them good vibes when you think of them, you know. And I think that kind of reminds me, let me finish this tangent. It's a good point. Where am I at? Yeah, that's fine. So I was having a conversation with my dad the other day about a family friend that had passed away within the last year, basically. And it's rough. They both were very close, and I grew up, like, with him being the uncle that, like, every time he saw me, his nickname was Pumpkin. And so I knew him as, like, the uncle that calls me the cool name Pumpkin. You know, like, that makes me a special little girl, a princess in the eyes of the court. And yeah, he was just a very, like, warm-hearted person, very genuine, you know, had one of those, like, big belly laughs, you know. If there was, I think, and granted, I have so many more people in my life that provide me fatherly kinds of wisdom now than, like, when I was younger, but at the time, it's like he felt like one of those male people in my life that was as safe to be around as my own father, which was a big deal, because I grew up being basically told to be, rightfully to some extent, scared of, like, trusting anyone outside of the family, you know. And I think it's affected a lot of the kind of person I am today, how I carry myself, and, like, sometimes this, like, wariness that I have, and I don't even realize it, and it's just, like, taking energy. But it's gotten better. And what I was trying to say is he was one of those people that he was very slow with the way that he carried himself, very paced and very thoughtful. And I don't know, like, I wanted to be the kind of person when I grew up that could make other people feel that way, like, just that serene, calm, I don't know, like, the mental, like, peace of mind that he seemed to, like, cast upon everyone when he walked into a room. And yeah, it's been rough, and especially for my, one sec, like, bookmarking this with a balloon. That worked. Okay, so I don't have to find the page again. So yeah, I was talking to my dad, and this person had come to mind again, and he kind of, like, he was raised with that kind of more old school, men hold their feelings in front of the public, and we were out at a restaurant, and so I wanted to kind of impart to him that, like, I don't think that when emotions like that come to you, like, throughout the day, I think it's just, like, important to roll with them instead of trying to, like, suppress them, which we have this, like, cultural, I don't know, it's the way that things are. And I wish it wasn't, because the truth is, people die every day. Death is a part of life, and it's as much a part of life as, it's as much a part of life as life is a part of it. Big brains. Big brain moment. Okay. And I think it would make people more meaningful in their actions to be more conscious of the fact that your time is measured and what that genuinely means to you, like, sooner in life, you know. And that might be a very grandma statement of me to make, but I don't know. It's just been a big part of my life. So this is how I think, you know, existentialism is a very integral part of me, and it drives a lot of the people around me crazy. But, oh well, you know, I've accepted at this point that that is a part of my existence and my impact on the people around me. I drive them crazy via my yapathons about stuff like this. So anyways, conversation with him, and I was trying to tell him basically, like, my perspective is I kind of think about it like all these little strings, if you visualize it, that are connecting all of us, that when you remembered him, he, from wherever he was tugging the little string that connects you and him, and that, like, you know, is cool. Because then it keeps the relationship, that love, alive, you know. It keeps it from being something that has to end the second your breathing comes to an end, you know. And I think that also adds a lot more meaning to what do you do with the time in this existence as this person with this story and blah, 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 you know. Topics for another day in another video. But I was just trying to tell him, like, you know, see it as a good thing that when you remember someone, they're maybe thinking of you, you know. It doesn't always have to work like that. You don't have to go call up your friend and check, you know. But I think it's nice, you know, and I think that those are the things that when we, like, incorporate that into our day and how we think about things, it just, like, feels better, you know. And there's been just so much death in the past year in my life, I feel. Not that much, but much. Some. But I don't know. It's just, it's a part of the way that I carry myself through life. And I don't think it's a bad thing, you know. Anyways, where was I going with that? Was there another point to that? Because I know that I jumped to that from another point before. Thinking of people and things. I don't know. If there was, I'll find out when I'm, like, piecing this video together, and then I can say it in another one. It's fine. Whatever. Quality yapping, I'd like to think. I'm sorry if all that paper movement was super loud. Okay. So, PMDD, my cousin wife. Is someone coming down? Hello? I think it's just a light upstairs. This shit feels so awkward. What I was trying to say was that I'm currently PMSing. And I wrote the title for this word vomit as premenstrual Suzuki, aka PMS. I'm so clever. Okay. Anyways. I am no longer what I am. Once I have been what I am. To know what I am is to see what I was. And to know who I was is to see who I've been. I've been so many things I'm not, but I've seen a lot. I know what I'm not. If I'm not one of those lot, then at least I'll not have been someone I'd not have ever wanted to have been. I'll be more than a lot. I'm not just here to sit and rot. My time is worth a lot. A dime for each time I bothered to hold someone's eye. A shared time. My time is as valuable as I make it. If I am to be what I do with my time, then I will not waste my thoughts, for they are divine. I am ever changing, ever flowing, ebb and glowing, a firework that never went off. I could take lives, I'm dangerous. I could be a flare that ensured man's survival. It is easy to become afraid now. I finally know what I want, how to get it. I finally have come around to my own purpose, my own existence. Why miss this? I long to fly, to feel wind under my thighs. I know that it does not do to dwell on dreams, Harry. But at night when the lights are dim, at night when my mind comes alive, I fly. Who am I not to try? To touch the winds in the sky. If the air in my lungs was given to me to breathe, to change, not leave the same, if the grounds beneath my 2 feet, if the storms in the sky run on schedules that are not mine, if I am to be, and to be that I am, what more is there to be than the most to be what I am? To finally fly, it is terrifying. It is exhilarating, enlightening. To fly, finally, it is to reach new heights, unlock new lengths. I have the strength, tenfold each day and forevermore. I am mine, and I am yours. That was it. That was all. PMS. Okay, and I will be back after the short commercial break for the next Mahabharata episode.